So that's out. So one belt, it's a little rough looking. You are now watching the 2025 season of Farming with Duffy Ag. Welcome back to the channel. So previously we picked up a sprayer for ourselves. We got some things to do on it. So I gotta hit my guy up as far as where is it? Housings. Like we're missing some things here and there. They switched some things around. This is missing the whole side of the housing. We do have drop tubes for nitrogen on it, as you see, like this. It got turned for some reason, but drop tubes on 30 inches. So if we get this all going, that's kind of the hope. I don't know what this actually does here, but as you see, the spring's broken, so we got to do some digging. If anybody knows anything about these, hit me up. I do have a buddy who has one, so he's sending me some stuff that I need to know. Agco bought Wilmar air sprayers, or Wilmar sprayers, and they're air ride sprayers, but they bought them. That's good to know. We got part numbers on there. We do have a part numbers in the book that came with it, but I was able to go on Agco's website this morning and download the owner's manual and operator's manual and the technical manual. So that's good to have. The foamer, such as this line, is no longer existent going out. Yeah, we got to zip tie some things up. Like this line doesn't actually go to anything because, as we talked about before, the fence row sprayer, they just took the solenoid off. Yeah, they took it off. They must have put that piece on. So there's some things that are cobbed together. We got to get it sprayed. The big thing is the pump. That's going to be like quarter or more of the price of the whole sprayer that I paid. So also airbags. This one doesn't. We're probably going to have to put airbags in all of them so that it rides properly. The wheels are extended out right now, but here's where the pump goes, and it's not there, and we've talked about putting a hydraulic pump on instead, but I'm going to see exactly which one is correct. But what we did this morning, if you remember, before we dive too much further into this sprayer, there was a lot of negative people towards the sprayer, and I'm not saying it affects me at all, because everybody's like, stop listening to the negative people. I just like making sure people understand the whole layout. So we spent $3,500 on this sprayer. There was one person that picked up that said, hey, that Raven controller that's in it is probably about worth what you paid for the sprayer. Yes, it is. They're pretty slick units. They use it in the applicator as far as for the manure tank, for injecting manure in the ground. Same Raven controller. So those Raven controllers go for about $2,000 to $2,200. So if we wanted to start parting things out and moving things around, and what does the Raven controller do? It controls your rate of fluid transferring from the tank to the sprayer to the booms. In manure application, it controls your rate of how much manure you're putting in the ground based on your speed. So there is a radar on the sprayer to tell you your speed, and we have the controller and the valve. We got to make sure it all works. But let's say throw it on Marketplace or something for $1,500. As somebody else pointed out, the wheels, the tires themselves, they're worth $1,500 easily all day long. The motor, yeah, there's a lot of random parts. Drive motors are what scares me because they're $4,600 a piece. The tank. But otherwise, I'll give you guys a hint. I'm into the parts that I need to hopefully get it going. The belts, the filters, the pump, and sprayer nozzles. I'm into them for about $600 more. So if we have $4,100 into the sprayer and it sprays, as I have said, even if it's $18 or $15 for application, by the time you do multiple passes and things like that. So I'm hoping we drop tube nitrogen, honestly. That's my end goal if this thing works. But probably just for application, by the time you get done going multiple passes over something, you got 15, 20 grand into it. And somebody said get an FSA loan and get a 4710 sprayer or stuff like that. If I'm like, hey, I want to spend 60 grand on a sprayer, they're going to say no. Because we are farming with older stuff and we make it work. And yes, YouTube does work with this because it's content and we're getting creative. And it gets, honestly, everybody who gets up and calls it junk and negative and writes negative comments, you guys help the algorithm. So I really appreciate that. So we're going to keep doing that. But we need to get this going so that we can spray corn and beans and get ahead. But I'm excited for it just to get some of you guys worked up. So that's the rundown as far as some of the financial side of it, because it just makes sense. And then I could scrap it, I could sell a drive motor, I could do anything. So we made out pretty good at this moment. Unless it completely blows up, I think we're going to be okay. So, and I know where it came from before and stuff like that. It's not perfect, it's not amazing, but we're going to be into spraying way cheaper than I ever thought I could be. So, yeah, let's dive back into it and see how far we make it today. But like I said, we got parts coming, and I talk about that at the end. And yeah. We did not have a functioning battery. So this morning when we ran into town, first off, I used my Kroll oil, sprayed up all the brakes so that we can see, well, that's the e-brake, both fronts. Sprayed it up so that we can make sure it's functioning, because right now it says it should be functioning, and as you see, it is not. So we're probably gonna have to take those apart because we do need some sort of an e-brake. But the other thing was, it was overheating on our way home, and when I went and looked at it, I was like, okay, these belts definitely need to be changed. So what we did this morning was I'll pop this open for you. So as you see, this belt is absolutely junk. So to get that off, 1 bolt, 2 bolt, 3 bolt, 4 bolt, this slides out of the way, I believe. We got to check coolant, we got to check hydraulic oil. Last oil was last changed on 2022. It has been traded and sat around a little bit. It does say that it's charging, it just doesn't have a good functioning battery. So we got a battery and we got 2 belts that are supposed to be correct, but the other belt was absolutely smoked. So if we get that gone, then we're good. We can mess around, charge things, and then tomorrow morning, being Sunday or Monday morning, we got to make some phone calls and get the right parts ordered on some things, because yes, we got to get to spraying. Okay, it goes this way. Let's get out of the way. So the battery was it was 5 years old. June 2020 it said on it. So we'll get everything hooked back up. Get the little bolt's still there. Okay. And then we'll see if it stays charging and if it's happy. And if, yeah, there's a lot of ifs. If this ever works right. If not, it was great content, right? So today's kind of a mess around day. We do have to get the Mac switched over for nursing because it's going back to work. Because we got to make some money. Can't just spend money all year long. No, I better tighten that one down first. A farmer, if you can believe, a farmer was messing with the wiring, and it's not exactly perfect. I used to be horrible with wiring. I'm not very good now, but I'm better than I was. I like how that is. Might have to put a new terminal on this. Yes, that was the right tool for the job. Okay, new batteries in. I don't know what any of these extra wires go to, so we're just leaving them. At some point, if we get it all functioning, we'll figure out exactly what everything does. Oh, here's a sprayer body that's broken. Yeah, they broke one off. We'll get some spares of those coming. Get this thing cleaned out if we get it happy. Okay. Oh, we got some voltage. Think our belt's going bad? It is charging up though. Definitely squeaking though. We're gonna let it run for a second, then we're gonna change that belt out. Okay, so we got this fan safety shield. And I'm like, yeah, we'll just get that out of the way and then it will be easy to get the rest off. I made some miscalculations because there's a shaft that goes from the motor. So the motor is facing the opposite way of what it usually faces. This is the front of the motor. That is the rear of the motor where the output shaft is. But there's a shaft here with a coupler and stuff that is to run the AC, and yeah, it runs the AC and it runs the pump. As far as the pump for pumping solution. So, something I didn't think about really. I thought it was going to be easier. That's probably why they never changed them. Honestly. Okay. So that's out. So one belt, it's a little rough looking. I don't know which way they go. Well, we've been working on getting the belt out. You can't see much in there because it's dark. But this morning I went on AGCO's website because AGCO bought Wilmar. Is it just Wilmar? Wilmar Manufacturing. So they bought them and I could download both the operator's manual and the service manual. And I was like, what am I doing here? So there is actually a chain coupler in there. And at first I was like, what is this? Harmonic balancer or something, rubber coupler? No, it's a double chain. And you got 4 bolts. You pop that off and it slides right out of the way. Really actually easy compared to what I thought. There is gaskets that go there, and there is it's a grease fitting, but it looks like they had oil into it, but maybe they just greased it once and then never greased it again because the chain looks pretty bare. So we'll make sure to grease that. There's some service on this that needs to be done, but now we should be able to pull this right around. There we go. So the new belts, on these belts I can see that there's a different number than what I thought the belt was. Okay, there we go. This does take 2 hands sometimes. And this belt was on its way out too, because as you see, there's cogs missing and it's narrow. So there is a JD number on it. RE44538. Made in the US of A. So we're gonna see if these belts work or not. I think they're a little shorter, but we'll put one on and see. Didn't even have to put it on. I can see that they're not going to ride in there nicely, so we'll get these cleaned up, get them returned, and we'll get the right ones. The numbers that I had was off of line, offline, based on this number that was supposed to go on a 4.3, a 4039 motor. So yeah, wasn't right. John stopped in to check out Cherry, and he goes, "You ain't getting much sprayed if you're just sitting around." I'm like, I know. We just got it yesterday. So I got oil filter numbers, air filter numbers. We got the correct belt numbers, because the one that broke that I had, I couldn't see a number on it, so we did some guessing. But on that second one, there you can vaguely see a number. So between that, a pump, and some sprayer parts, hopefully we get ourselves in a good spot. We do have to mess around with the steering. We can deal with it for now, but yeah. And there's a few leaks. I see this is like a newer line right here, and the other end has a drip on it, so we'll probably end up changing some lines out as we figure out what works and what doesn't. There's always something, but if we get this functional, I'll be pretty happy. Got the whole coupler housing all cleaned up. There is seals that slide in there, and then yeah, grease fitting. So double chain looks good. We got to get some parts, the belts, and then we can put this back in, and we'll get some filters. We'll get the pump figured out tomorrow, and get some sprayer pieces coming. So honestly, and we need to get some airbags, which is something we can get local. Those are just Firestone airbags. We'll get them filled up so that this tire is riding correctly. All three other ones are not, so they all leak down some. But alrighty, Harley's been working with Cherry. I told her I'd help her bed everything so that the week's good, and then we'll take fence down. I got to get the Mac ready. I got to mow the lawn. I did some gardening. Today's been just an easy day, but slowly getting this back to completely functional, which will be, it's gonna kind of be fun. It's gonna be fun either way. I'm trying to see if the booms are really bent much. Yeah, there's a bend in that one. Honestly, at the end of the day, for the acreage we cover, for what we're trying to do, we don't need anything amazing, and if it bends or breaks, we just weld it. So 60-foot booms. I'm gonna finally get this telephone pole that's been here since I moved in out of here, clean up the entranceway a little bit. Cows did a stellar job, so I've been mowing this part here and weed whacking it just to keep the lines a little straighter. But they're up on the next pasture. They're all waiting actually to go in. Harley did kill the power, so that's good at least. But I'm gonna get that out of the way. I'll go grab the stakes from down here, and then yeah, we got a rotary mow in here just to get some of the weeds, but like I said, the cows did a killer job. That is why I honestly have animals. And as you see, there's a concrete brick. I don't know if that's from the silo. It don't look like it, but they're up in the next pasture, and they'll go back out back, then they'll go over here. So there'll be a month or so before they get back into here. Running through the truck, checking all the fluids, greasing everything. Everything from here up is ready to rock and roll. Just got to adjust the brakes on the truck. Got a Brad brake can, and I think it's the same one that we put a new one in, and I think it's failed prematurely. Got to switch this over to nursing as well instead of spread. So take the cap off, put the extension on, put the cap on. Oh, it's been a minute, I guess, since we've really run. Look at this, we're growing corn. That is the best corn crop we got. Yeah, we're gonna go make some money, keep the wheels rolling. That is what we need to do to get everything right. We should jump on spraying a little bit, but we got to have some parts coming. We need money for the parts. We got to finish up some stuff on the bins as far as planning. So we might as well send it and keep going. It's gonna be a little warm this week, I think. So we do have to change out this remote control. It's getting a short somewhere, so it doesn't always want to work. So we just got to run a new wire and switch the plug out. Easy. That's the original ones from when we built the truck, and it got slammed in the door a few too many times, I think, before we cut a hole and ran it through. Okay, we are wrapping this up. I got spare belts. I got to get everything put back away. I did smash my finger, so I have a little bit of ice right here. Put the new remote in, and it functions 100%. No more. Actually, put the new remote in and actually hold down We got some wire loom. You know, it goes next to our seat belt since it's a lap belt truck. Someday we'll get this old Eldorado re-leathered, reupholstered. But we got Harley helping us, and she's actually making it happen for us right now. So just gotta put things away and we're good to go. Best corn crop we got right now is right here on the side of the truck. Looking pretty good. I might leave that for a little bit. Closed it up. Had that leak in the air valve. The diaphragm didn't have an issue, but it wasn't happy. So the bolts were all messed up. It was cockeyed. So I pulled it out and we put a new diaphragm in, new bolts in, new straps. Got our gate valve lubricated up. We do have a little, it must be a little leak right here. So as you can see, it's a little wet. I'm gonna make sure those are snug before we get done tonight. I did put oil on everything as always. Did fix the third brake light up top, the 3 across. It was dim. The bulb actually had started failing. But yeah, so tomorrow we are going to send this, bud. You're probably not gonna come with. You're gonna hang out with your mom. You got Yanko tomorrow? Okay. In the AC? Well, let me pack up my toolbox and we will be done for the night. So we're gonna get some sprayer parts ordered tomorrow. Harley's gonna run around and get some stuff for us, and it's gonna be a good day. So appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.